Sam Levitt here in Peoria, Arizona at the Padres Spring Training Complex, and right now I'm joined by Padres pitcher Matt Waldron. Matt, great to see you again here at Spring Training. Let's start with last season. Pretty exciting year for you, major league debut, really contributed to the Padres down the stretch. When you have time to reflect on it, how do you sum up 2023?
Yeah, it was it was a great year, obviously, but I think I'm just glad with the strides I made. I don't think I was a guy people expected to see in the big leagues. I don't know how much I believed it, but and it's about where you finish. So I'm glad I got. It was best year of my life, and I won some more, and yeah.
Let's talk about that belief, that confidence. When you got to the major leagues and you start having some success, what kind of confidence did you get from that heading into the offseason?
Yeah, I think it's the experience. Like pitching, especially, like you rely on the hitter to tell you if what you're doing is good, and
Right.
there's that learning curve of those first couple games were okay. They weren't great. Like you need to be performing at an even higher level. So yeah, it's just the experience was just insane, and it helps to know to compete at that level, and you know what you're looking for in spring training.
Looking back on it now, what was your favorite moment from the experience of last year?
My favorite moment would probably be the debut.
Okay.
It was very nerve-wracking, but if I gave a second one, it would probably just be like how I started to feel towards some of those last couple starts.
Yeah.
Like I just felt like a comfort level, and like you can do this kind of experience. So, there was a couple highs for sure. So, but yeah, it was good.
And you mentioned it. You had some really nice starts down the stretch and now enter this spring training, Matt, with a real opportunity to potentially make this rotation on the opening day roster. How do you view the opportunity you have this spring?
I see it as an opportunity, and one thing about this game, and just with such few spots, you got to be the best option that they have, and
Right.
you can't take things personal. You have to just be the best version of yourself, and always look to get better, and rely on some of the older experience. Joe's a great example. Darvish is a great example. I'm giving out pitchers, but you see what they do, and you follow a little bit, and just try and get better each day.
You mentioned getting better. So this past offseason, heading into this year, what did that look like for you, getting better?
Yeah, it was number one, staying healthy, but number two, and by staying healthy, I mean I took a little bit of a break, but and enjoyed myself. Put it behind me a little bit.
Sure.
Last year was last year, but it's all about preparing for the next season. I focus a lot on my physical work, so a lot in the weight room, and just crafting and getting things sharper.
Let's talk about your pitch mix, because you do throw the knuckleball. We all know that. But you certainly aren't the traditional knuckleballer in the sense that it's one of your pitches, but at least last year was not something you relied on a majority of the time. But you did, down the stretch, throw it more in games, a higher percentage, at least that's what I remember. How has that pitch evolved heading into this year, and the way you might use it?
I think it is what it is, really. Like and I'll make it as good as it can be, but it's another weapon, and I would say it's a good changeup, or it can be a good changeup if you execute it properly. And at the end of the day, I would say it's an uncompetitive pitch that I'm trying to compete with. So that's kind of like I make it sharp out in catch play, and then I bring it to the mound and see what the hitter does. But yeah, I'm mixing and competing.
Interesting. Why do you say it's an uncompetitive pitch?
Because it is. I just think that the lack of spin to it is it's kind of like, and you have to commit. You have to commit
Right.
to that small zone with a pitch that doesn't spin. So it's very much uncompetitive in my opinion. But you can make adjustments by the way I deliver it, and just yeah.
Is part of that it is so unpredictable, the pitch itself?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely unpredictable. It's just finding a way around that, and I know there's going to be some bad ones in terms of missing the zone, but it's all about sharpening it.
Right. And we talked last year about this, but you're still relatively new to throwing it. I mean, some people, those traditional knuckleballers, they may have come up from college, high school, throwing that knuckleball, but it's something you only learned in the last few years. So it
100%.
sounds like you're still getting the hang of it, maybe.
Right. I think you're exactly right. And yeah, it's a very good point.
Okay. Would you mind showing us
Absolutely.
just the science behind the knuckleball?
Okay, so I think a lot of it's on how tight you grip it.
Okay. Bring it up a little bit for the video.
These are pretty. Yeah, sorry, I'm hiding it.
No, you're good.
Predominant. Like I think these two fingers are important on just holding it, and then I finish it with these two fingers right here. So I don't squeeze it too hard. I just a lot of it's just the way I release it, and obviously you don't want it to spin, so I'm not going to do anything crazy with my wrist. Like I want to keep it somewhat neutral and deliver the pitch like that.
So you actually don't squeeze it very hard.
I
It's
don't.
kind of loose.
Yeah.
Even though that you want the wrist to be firm.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't say I choke it or I squeeze it all too much, because I think when I do that, it starts to like grab. Like it's all about releasing it, like a one-piece release. So like if I really grip it hard, I have to. That release has to be more perfect.
Interesting.
Which makes it more difficult, yeah.
Right. And the whole idea is you do not want that ball to spin.
Yes, that is the idea.
Okay.
And if it does spin, which it likely will a little bit, is you want it to be predominantly forward. I think you get into trouble a little bit when it starts to spin backwards and stay up, and hitters start to catch a feel for that.
Forgetting the knuckleball for a second, what do you consider your best pitch right now?
I think it's always been just my fastball, and I would say two-seam. I'm not talking metrics. I just think I've had a good feel for my arm action and like just being able to throw strikes and put the pressure on hitters by getting ahead. So I'd say I always, I think it'd be a lot tougher to not be able to throw strikes and just rely on the knuckleball. So, but I'm not saying it's been done before. It's just,
Before we finish up here, let's get off baseball a little bit. You spent the off season back in Nebraska. You went to the University of Nebraska. What does the off season look like for Matt Waldron?
Yeah, it was pretty good those first couple of weeks. Like I went on a cruise, which was fun.
Cruise?
Yeah,
Where?
I went on a cruise. That was my first. I went to the Bahamas and then I think Aruba. So it reminded me of Bogarts when I was there a little bit. I mean, it's crazy that he got those beaches are insane.
Yeah, I've been there once. It's beautiful.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I've never. Shoot, I was opening my eyes underwater and all that. It was a great getaway. But the other time it's working out throughout the week and then enjoying the weekends a little bit with friends and family, and it's been fun.
Did you go snorkeling?
I did not. I should have. Yeah, there was a lot of excursions we could have done, but just catch me by the beach, and that's all we needed there.
San Diego, good place to be.
Right.
Plenty of beaches.
It's incredible.
Matt, appreciate the time. Best of luck this season, like we talked about. Certainly a tremendous opportunity for you out of spring training in 2024, and I'm sure we'll catch up on the pre- and post-game shows throughout the year. Thanks so much.
Yep. Thank you.